Welcome to this late night edition of the Weekly Sportscast with your hosts, Jake Gould and Brandon Skinner. Before we get started today, I'd like to give a shout out to our friends over at the 3&D podcast. They're some of our buddies from school and they put out some great content. And so after you've watched this video in its entirety and maybe left a like or a comment or a subscription, then y'all can go check them out over at the 3&D podcast.
This week's episode is sponsored by Lonzo Ball's first career triple-double, because he's going to be having a lot more of those now that LeBron's a Laker. Let's get into it.
She said that she wanna lean. I just want something to drink. I want to mix in a mixer. This potion I'm turning in pain. It's getting harder to blame.
Okay, so as this breaking news has just kind of happened in these recent hours, LeBron James is officially a Laker. He's going to be wearing the purple and gold this next season, and he's going to be playing with all the big ballers out in Los Angeles. He signed a 4-year, $154 million deal with the Los Angeles Lakers with a fourth-year player option. So in his last year, he could opt out if he wants to, or as he gets involved in the culture, he could stay if he decides to, and let Bronny finish out his high school career. So, Jake, what are your initial impressions and thoughts on this move by LeBron James and Magic Johnson and the rest of the Lakers front office?
Well, apparently from the beginning of LeBron's decision 3.0, it was down to the Lakers and the Cavs completely, and I'm not surprised at all that LeBron chose the Lakers. They're better in almost every single way, from front office to their young core, to the cap space they had, to their destination. But yeah, the most important part of this move is, as you kind of touched upon, that LeBron James is under contract for 4 years. So, if the NBA eliminates the one-and-done rule, the rule that requires players to spend at least 1 year in college, this means that LeBron James will be hitting the free agent market the same year that his son, LeBron James Jr., will be eligible for the NBA draft, which of course will fulfill LeBron's one true goal to play with his son on the same team.
Yeah, that'd definitely be cool to see two generations of LeBron playing together on the same court, and that would be a scary team to face, definitely. But as you talked about with the young core of this Los Angeles Lakers team, you know, the Lonzo Ball and Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, just to name a few. Jake, how far? Let me rephrase that. Assuming no other major roster changes, how far can this Lakers team go right now with LeBron leading this young core of Lakers?
No further roster changes to the Lakers or to other teams in the Western Conference?
No further roster changes to the Lakers, and assuming no monumental stuff to the other Western Conference teams.
Well, the biggest issue for me is that I don't know how playoff ready, per se, this young core is, and I don't know how well LeBron will be able to do in leading this young core to a trip to the finals in the extremely talented Western Conference. So I'll say that this team is definitely guaranteed a playoff spot, and most likely will go to the Western Conference Finals. But depending on their opponent, and depending on if they do get another star or not, I don't know if I can see them coming out of the Western Conference against the Rockets or the Warriors.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I do think this Lakers young core is very promising. I mean, Lonzo Ball, probably my favorite player in the league. I love his game. I love his dad. I love LiAngelo. I love LiAngelo. You know, I love the whole Ball family. There's big goobers, and they're awesome. But like you said, I don't know. This Lakers core is not ready. And so, in my opinion, I think this move for LeBron he was going to be the first big free agent to go to Los Angeles. And so, regardless of whoever comes, whether that be DeMarcus Cousins, Kawhi Leonard, whoever, I mean, what's his face, J.J. Redick, it doesn't really matter who's coming. I think he wants to be the first one there, and he wants to help essentially coach this young core into developing into the potential that they have. And even if they don't do as well as he did in Cleveland this year, this upcoming season, he has a lot more potential, and they have a lot more readiness to succeed in the 2019 season, I believe it is, or the season after this season. And they'll be ready to do so, and hopefully, and maybe they can land another big free agent in this next summer, as the GOAT himself, Magic Johnson, thinks that they'll do. So, yeah, that's about it. Okay, so with LeBron James going to this Western Conference, that just puts another huge all-star, another star of the league, perennial MVP candidate in the Western Conference. So, Jake, what does this mean for the Eastern Conference? Who's up next? What teams are you looking at to succeed in this next year, and who's going to take the throne away from the Cavaliers now that LeBron is gone?
Well, I mean, all this means is that it's Boston and Philly decking it out for the next decade or so for supremacy in the Eastern Conference, with the Bucks and Pacers right behind them in that second tier of teams, comparable to the Trailblazers and Pelicans in the Western Conference.
Well, the Pelicans swept the Trailblazers now.
Well, you're right there. I have a point there. But yeah, I mean, it just makes the Eastern Conference that much weaker. It destines the Cavs to go into rebuild mode for another half decade. Their best move is to probably trade Kevin Love to a contender for a late first rounder, and then try to work some magic around the core of Colin Sexton, Larry Nance Jr., Jordan Clarkson, and one of my favorite players in the league, Cedi Osman.
Cedi Osman. And now, Jake, when you were saying that, I did not hear the Washington Wizards name come up as one of those top-tier Eastern Conference teams, even though they've been a perennial playoff team these last couple years with the young core of John Wall and Bradley Beal. Explain that.
The problem with Wall, Beal, and Porter, as you mentioned, is that they are a young core, but they're paid so damn much. They themselves almost equal the entire cap space of the Wizards. So, I mean, they don't have that much help, and they don't really work that well together, because John Wall is one of the worst players in the league to play with, and he's had trouble staying healthy too, and they may not even be that good together. They also don't have a starting center now after they traded Marcin Gortat for Austin Rivers straight up. So that's another glaring hole that they will not be able to address in free agency due to their cap space.
Yeah.
So if I'm the Washington Wizards, I'm calling up a team like the Orlando Magic, who just drafted Mo Bamba, and saying, hey, you have Nikola Vucevic, who had a career year, who can shoot threes now. What do you want for him? And you try to make some magic there. I just did a pun. I said make some magic there. But yeah, if you're a team like the Wizards or the Heat, who are like the third tier of playoff teams in the East, you have to make some drastic moves like that to be able to try to beat the Bucks or the Pacers in the first round, to try to eventually do something against the
Sixers and the Celtics.
The Sixers and the Celtics,
okay.
Correct.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, and I think another team in a similar situation as these Washington Wizards is the Toronto Raptors. They, as we all know, they had the number one seed in the East this past year before getting swept by LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers.
LeBronto.
But now that LeBron has left the East, I think that the Raptors have a legitimate chance to be the top-tier team in the East. I mean, they had the most wins last year in the regular season of the Eastern Conference teams. They have an established core of DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, and others, and they have the deepest bench in the league. So they are in good position now that LeBron's gone to be a perennial finals contender every single year for the next 3 or 4 years, as long as they can keep DeMar and Kyle Lowry together. So I do think that that's a potential. There's potential winners in the Eastern Conference, and the Toronto Raptors probably benefited the most by getting LeBron out of there, because we all know that LeBron owned the Raptors regularly in the playoffs, and they were frankly scared to play him. Point blank, they were scared to play him, and it showed on the court, him carrying a undermanned, underwhelming, not very good Cavaliers team, and they swept them, that deep team, and now it's just not a good look, but now, with LeBron gone, they could do something good, hopefully.
Well, I'm a huge advocate for the Raptors to completely rebuild, because Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan have a historic success rate of completely collapsing in the finals. And
in the playoffs.
Well, yeah, if they make the finals, that is. But I'm sure that they're going to keep the same status quo now that LeBron is gone. Mm-hmm. But I really don't believe that Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, Serge Ibaka, and Jonas Valanciunas are going to be able to beat a Boston Celtics squad that has Gordon Hayward back. I don't think they're going to be able to beat a Philadelphia 76ers squad that has Markelle Fultz, that knows how to shoot. That has a new prospect in Zaire Smith that will probably get another key free agent that will be able to surround the non-shooters of Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid.
Kawhi Leonard? Question mark?
They could trade for Kawhi Leonard. I don't know if they really want to give up 3 first-rounders to rent Kawhi for a year, but they could do that if they want to make a finals run.
Yeah.
So the Raptors really don't have a place of prominence, except if you count regular season as a success, which
Okay.
Nobody does.
Talking about all these Eastern Conference teams, and I'm thinking about the team that just acquired the reigning Coach of the Year, the Detroit Pistons. As we all know, last year they traded in midseason for Blake Griffin, who is, when healthy, is an all-star level player, definitely, and they have
Top 5 power forward.
top 5 power forward, maybe ever, but probably not. And now they have one of the most scary front courts in the league with Andre Drummond and Blake Griffin playing together in Detroit, as well as a outstanding coach in Dwayne Casey, along with Reggie Jackson, their point guard, I do believe, and they have some other, I guess, pieces because they're pretty good. So I think that Detroit Pistons are a sleeper team kind of to watch out for, and I wouldn't put my money on them, but I also am not sleeping on them. So hopefully that they can do something and not make me look bad on video. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the Pistons are the most likely team to replace the Cavs playoff seeding this year, just because they were close there, and as you said, a full offseason of Dwayne Casey working his magic with Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond, the young prospects Henry Ellison and Luke Kennard. That's an A seed. Why not?
Why not? Why not? Okay, next question. How, with LeBron James going to the Lakers, how does this affect his legacy, and how does this affect the Lakers' legacy now that he's wearing the purple and gold?
Well, I think that as LeBron is the second greatest player of all time, there is a strong argument for him to be the best player to ever wear the purple and gold. However, I do think that if he wins a title or two in LA, maybe even with his young core by himself this season, I don't think it's likely, but if it is, he could be the greatest player to ever wear a Lakers jersey.
Or ever wear an NBA jersey, for that matter.
Whoa. That's a topic for another podcast.
We're bronze-sexual in here.
But, I don't know what effect this will have on his legacy, because he's not really viewed as a villain like he was when he moved to Miami. He's viewed as, he's kind of viewed as, like, the victim in this situation. As he just kind of helped this Cavs team as much as he can and just couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm. He laid it all on the court, definitely, in Cleveland, and he just did not have the help. Plain and simple, did not have the help to beat a loaded Warriors team, but I do think with his legacy, this is a lot better, definitely, than those rumors of him joining the Golden State Warriors. If he joined them, he would have been hated even more than Kevin Durant is, and that's saying something. The cupcake himself, LeBron, would have been hated more than that. But I think joining the Lakers it's the highest profile team in basketball. That's one thing. Los Angeles is one of the biggest cities in the entire country, and it's cool to see the best player in basketball probably ever playing in the biggest city and the biggest market of any basketball team. So it's cool, and I definitely think that hopefully in the future we can see some more Lakers-Celtics finals matchups with a LeBron-led Lakers team and a Kyrie-led Boston Celtics team. That would just be the coolest thing ever. Those two rivalries, the teams, and those two players, that would be very, very cool. So enough talking about the Lakers now. I would like to talk about the team that LeBron left. The Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron left them after 4 seasons or something like that, after coming back home. And as you sort of touched on earlier, they have to be in full rebuild mode now. They can't build a team around Kevin Love that can do anything but win 25 games. And what do you think they can do, Jake? What can they do to even salvage this season, if not salvage this season, start rebuilding toward a more promising future post-LeBron?
They have to trade Kevin Love. They have to see if they can get rid of the terrible contracts of George Hill and J.R. Smith and Tristan Thompson without giving up that much draft capital, because they're going to be getting some lottery picks for a while, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, they're going to be getting some lottery picks. But yeah, I agree. They need to trade Kevin Love. He can be the third option on a really good team, but as a second option in Cleveland, he really got exposed as not being that good. I mean, he's a great player. He's an all-star for several years in a row, and he's a great player to be in the NBA and playing at that high level, but I don't think that he's good enough to be the second option on a championship-level team. I think he can be the third option. He can be a rebounder. He can give you 20 and 10, but almost no more than that. He's very consistently mediocre or above mediocre. So I think they could trade him to a contender such as, I don't know if they can make this work, but the Rockets they could maybe trade him to. They could trade him to, I don't even know, maybe my Orlando Magic and have the core of Aaron Gordon and Kevin Love. That'd just be, and Mo Bamba. That'd be an interesting forward and center combination. But I think
Kevin Love would be a good fit in Portland with David CJ. He's a perfect third scoring option there. I mean, he rebounds, gives them the ball, and they give it back to him. He shoots a three. Why not?
Why not? Why couldn't it work? I mean, maybe this year they could not get swept by the Pelicans. How about that? Oh, baby. Oh, we hate the Trailblazers. Oh, my gosh. Could he lock up Anthony Davis, though?
Nobody can lock up Anthony
Nobody
Davis.
can lock it. Only the Brow can lock up Anthony Davis. Once he shaves that thing off, he's averaging 50 and 15 a game.
Ooh.
Oh, baby. Okay, so now talking about the Lakers and everything, Jake, what other free agents could join LeBron this year in Los Angeles? Or should the Lakers just be happy with getting LeBron and allow him and the young core to develop together for one more season and then try really hard next year to go after that big free agent, i.e. Kawhi or whoever else is going to be available in next summer?
Well, we've already seen the first wave of ring chasers and LeBron followers come to LeBron. We saw Lance Stephenson sign with the Lakers today, the famous LeBron blower in the ear.
Baby.
That's going to be an interesting storyline to see. As we're recording this, we just got a notification that JaVale McGee, the Saint, the greatest center of all time, has also signed with the Lakers on a one-year deal.
Probably the best athlete of all time.
KCP, who was a great 3-and-D guy for the Lakers last year, has also came back for 1 year and $12 million. But all these deals, the Stevenson, KCP, and McGee, are all for 1 year.
They're rentals. They're rentals.
Correct. So I think this is Magic Johnson saying, we don't want to give up Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, and 3 first-rounders for Kawhi Leonard, so we're just going to wait until we can get him in free agency next year. But I do think that the Lakers should go after DeMarcus Cousins. Because you have to take the risk that he's healthy, because he is the best center in the league when healthy.
A
LeBron James.
We just talked about JaVale McGee.
Oh, I'm sorry, second best center. But DeMarcus Cousins, his assisting abilities and shooting abilities will greatly help out LeBron. His lockdown defense in the paint will help alleviate some of that pressure from him. And just imagine Lonzo Ball, LeBron James, and DeMarcus Cousins all just chucking the rock back and forth, winning a championship. That's a beautiful sight to see. As long, of course, as LeVar and DeMarcus are able to be constrained.
That's what I was about to talk
as long
about.
as they're able to be constrained by LeBron.
That, in a perfect world, that would be so beautiful, and the NBA would be happy, and everyone would be hugging and kissing each other. But that's not. DeMarcus Cousins has, as we all know, has one of the biggest egos in the league, rivaling that of even LeVar Ball or Draymond Green or, people of that nature. And he's often got a quick temper. He always almost has the most technical fouls in the league. And especially in Sacramento, he's just a pistol all the time. And I feel like LeVar Ball doesn't really help that situation. LeVar Ball, I think LeBron can deal with LeVar Ball, but if DeMarcus Cousins goes there, LeBron cannot calm everybody down. He can't keep his soldiers in line, essentially. He cannot keep DeMarcus Cousins and LeVar Ball at the same time. He's only one man. He can't carry a team and be the police, the mediator for that team. So I don't think a DeMarcus Cousins trade would work. I think, like you said, they should just rely on this younger core that they have and let LeBron carry them just like he carried the Cavaliers last year. And then next year go after one of those big free agents and don't worry about signing any other right now. The only one I would have liked to see go to Los Angeles would have been Paul George. But I don't know what he's thinking. He's so dumb.
Let's talk about Paul George.
We're talking about Paul George because he sucks.
Because we're both very heated about this topic.
God,
we both love Paul George, but
Maybe
he
not
really
even.
messed up. He really
messed up. God, man.
I mean, I can see why he signed with the
What'd
Thunder.
he do? Why?
Well, first of all, when Andre Roberson was healthy, that starting five...
Okay, wait, time out. Andre Robertson, okay, I'm going to talk about him because he's flexing. He's not a great basketball player, but I saw a picture on Instagram of him and Rachel Demita. That is my celebrity crush. That girl's so cute. Oh, my
She is a
God.
cutie.
And he's flexing with him. The man can't shoot free throws, but he's shooting his shot and he's hitting. So, good for Andre Roberson. Okay, next thing.
As also we're saying, when Andre Roberson was healthy for the first half of the season, that starting five of him, Westbrook, George, Anthony, and Adams had like a top 5 offensive and defensive rating. They were just creaming opponents. But then as soon as he went down, their season just ended up in a first round exit to the Jazz.
Embarrassing.
So obviously he has hope that Roberson can come back healthy and they can make a deeper playoff run with that same squad, with another year of Westbrook, George, and Anthony working together, with another year of Steven Adams' masculinity. They could do some damage in the Western Conference. Remember, this Thunder team beat the Warriors 2 out of 3 this season.
Regular season.
That's true, but that goes to prove something.
And then they lost 4 out of 5 to the Utah Jazz, to a rookie. But okay,
the rookie of the year, but
oh yeah, the rookie of the year. I think Brandon. What's his name?
Andre Ingram.
Not Andre Ingram. What's the dude's name? Ben Simmons. I think he might win it next year too. Rookie of the year.
Ooh.
God, I'm excited to see that. But
Andre Ingram is back on the Lakers, by the way. I
Oh,
forgot
baby.
to mention that.
Oh baby, they're gonna win now. LeBron just gonna kick out to him. Andre Ingram might average a 55% 3-point percentage throughout the whole year.
Breaking Corver's record.
Again, going back to Paul George, I cannot believe how stupid this dude is. It showed last year. I know they're the big three, whatever, him and Carmelo. But the fact of the matter is they won one game in the playoffs. That's it. They won one game, and they got eliminated by a team led by a rookie and Rudy Gobert. I love Rudy Gobert with all my heart, but he's just a defensive player. He's not that offensively talented, and he's not a superstar in this league. He's just a defensive menace. But I don't think this Thunder team is going to work. I think that I love Steven Adams, but I do not like Russell Westbrook. I hate it. I don't think his game. He's the biggest ball hog in the league, even though he averaged 10 assists. Whatever. He's not that good. You can't win a championship building a team around Russell Westbrook. That's just a fact. And it's reigned true with my boy Victor Oladipo. After leaving him, he showed out in the the Indiana Pacers, and with my boy DeMonte Sabonis. They were just better when they left Westbrook. So I don't know why Paul George, when he had the opportunity to go to Los Angeles and more than likely be with LeBron, even though he couldn't know that. But even if LeBron doesn't go, you say Paul George becomes the face of the Los Angeles Lakers, his hometown, and he leads them to a playoff berth. Paul George with that young core could be a playoff team, and that team would beat the Oklahoma City Thunder without Paul George in a 7-game series, point blank. And they just he was just dumb for that. I don't know what he was thinking. I guess he got in the Russell Westbrook curse with those sweet pants he had on at his party. I just don't know what he was thinking, and he needs to. I don't know. He was just dumb for that. He's the second option on a team that's gonna get eliminated in the first round again next year, probably to a Grayson Allen led Utah Jazz team, and it's whatever. Paul George makes a decision. He's a grown man, and he can do his thing. I don't know. He's just stupid for that. I can't imagine why he wouldn't go back to his home and be the face of the Los Angeles Lakers. But whatever. And a team with him and LeBron on that, with that young core, they would more than likely be in the Western Conference Finals, if not dethroning the Golden State Warriors with the cupcake himself, Kevin Durant. God!
Wow. Brandon, do you see any other possible ring chasers joining LeBron in LA after this first wave?
Nick Young.
Swaggy.
Swaggy P.
Let's see it.
Swaggy P might come back.
Swaggy, Lance, and JaVale with LeBron.
Oh my God,
baby.
It's already over. Just don't put it in the books, man. If you can't put LeBron and the best LeBron stopper in the league on the same team, that's literally just cheat codes, and you can't do that. So I think the NBA might be a little bit broken with this LeBron team, but we'll have to just see. Maybe Kevin Durant, the Snake, can pull some magic out of his long sleeves. I don't know, but I don't think any other ring chasers are going to join them besides maybe Nick Young. I mean, JaVale McGee already joined him, and he has 2 rings, I think, already to his name with the Golden State Warriors. And who else joined him? Lance Stevenson. Lance Stevenson's probably chasing a ring. I mean, it's probably every player's dream to play with LeBron and not have to blow in his ear all the time. He can blow in someone else's ear, maybe like DeMar DeRozan or something in the finals. Who knows? But
You really think the Raptors are going to go to the finals next year?
Maybe. With LeBron out of the East, there's nothing stopping them.
That's true.
We the North. That's what I'm saying. Okay. But, no more ring chasers. I don't think there's any... Really, ring chasers are just insignificant, like role players like Nick Young, JaVale McGee. I mean, I love them to death, but they're not that great. They could be 7 points and maybe an assist. So that's about it. And I'm just excited to see LeBron James do his thing at Los Angeles and hopefully get some new life back in this Los Angeles Lakers, the most storied franchise in the league. So that was just our hot take on LeBron James's move to
Lukewarm.
It's like a lukewarm. It was like,
Luke Walton.
Luke Walton. Oh baby, that was like a LeBron James becoming the best player and the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers tonight, and that's just our take and our opinions on that. And so hope you all enjoyed it, and we're looking forward to hearing y'all's comments and seeing LeBron James this season play in the purple and gold.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait till those 10:30 Eastern time games to see
Oh
LeBron's
my gosh,
game.
I gotta wake up. Oh my gosh. Well, it
It'll
might be
a long
worth it.
season, ladies and gentlemen.
We might have to start a GoFundMe for NBA League Pass, so y'all might have to cough up some dough. So thank y'all for watching, but we'll see y'all when any more breaking news happens, and hopefully we can do another free agency episode because these are pretty fun. So thank y'all for watching again. See y'all on the next one. Peace.